Hello and good afternoon to you. I'm Mitch McCoy here at KARK4 and Fox 16. Joe Biden has been sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, and reaction is coming in by the minute here from leaders across Arkansas. You're looking at live pictures right now from our nation's capital, where a lot of these ceremonies are in full swing. You can hear that sound in the background of outside the United States Capitol, where the ceremonies are still in full effect. And of course, we're going to stay with and follow all of these developments out of Washington, D.C. throughout the day. But we want to get to the reaction that is now starting to pour in from some of the leaders across Arkansas. This tweet coming in just a little while ago from Governor Asa Hutchinson. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bring it up full screen for you so you have no problem seeing it. This is Governor Asa Hutchinson tweeting today, wishing his best for Joe Biden, the 46th president of the United States, quoting as President George H.W. Bush wrote to President Clinton after the 1992 election, "Your success now is our country's success," wishing, it was then the president-elect, now the president, Joe Biden, complete success. That coming in from Governor Asa Hutchinson just a little while ago, as we start to see more of the ceremonies get underway in Washington. I want to get now to another tweet coming in, and this one is from Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. This right here is coming in. She says, "Today we witnessed a hallmark of American democracy, the peaceful transition of power, as President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been sworn into office. I pray that God will grant this new administration the wisdom to lead the greatest nation the world has ever seen." That coming in just a few moments ago. That was actually the latest tweet that we were seeing from Arkansas officials. You can see it there 35 minutes ago. We saw that from Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. And then if we go across, we're seeing more reaction coming in. The next reaction coming in from Congressman Bruce Westerman. He says, "Congratulations to President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris on their inauguration. Despite our political differences, I sincerely hope to work with this administration on the bipartisan issues that affect Arkansas the most." That coming in just a little while ago from Congressman Bruce Westerman on Twitter. And of course, there are certainly, there's a lot more reaction also coming in from other lawmakers as well. And I have to go over to my email because some of these are statements coming in right now from elected officials. In this case, we're seeing a statement from Congressman French Hill saying, "Today, Representative French Hill issued the following statement. I congratulate the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, from the first inauguration in 1789 that saw George Washington installed as the first American president to today's inauguration installing the 46th. One constant remains: the peaceful transition of power." Of course, that statement goes on to say much more. We are actively working to try and get interviews with all of these officials that are talking with the if leaders here in Arkansas that are specifically congratulating the vice now President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris as we start to see this reaction pour in. We are right now working with all of our newsroom, our sources, trying to get interviews with certain individuals, some of whom are right now in Washington, D.C., witnessing this history unfold in our nation's capital. And of course, as we start to see some of these interviews come in, we will certainly carry them live right here on KARK.com, Fox16.com, all of our social media accounts. These are live pictures right now from inside our nation's capital, where a lot of these ceremonies are right now in full swing. You can continue to watch all of these on our website at KARK.com, Fox16.com, and on our digital platforms. But there are some officials right now from Arkansas that are in Washington, D.C. It is my understanding Governor Asa Hutchinson is in D.C. along with some of the congressmen from Arkansas. And right now we are standing by. We're actively trying to get interviews with them. And as soon as we get those interviews, we will carry them live for you. That is what we know right now as this reaction starts to pour in. Of course, stay with KARK4 and Fox 16, both on air and online, as all of the ceremonies get underway in our nation's capital. Certainly a lot of things to come throughout the day, and we will be here to carry every single moment for you. But we did want to come across all of our digital platforms at this hour, let you know what some of the Arkansas officials are saying at this hour. We've heard from the governor, we've heard from the attorney general, we've heard from Congressman Bruce Westerman. I have a statement here from the Congressman French Hill as well, as we're starting to see this transition of power take place in our nation's capital. Of course, certainly a milestone as we start to see a lot of the twists and turns unfold. I mean, this has been really one for the record book, one might say. You start to see all of the controversies that came up, and we saw a lot of just argument. We saw a lot of controversy from the election to, of course, you know, it was just 2 weeks ago that we saw the unrest at our nation's capital. We saw that unrest unfold right there on the same steps where the president, the 46th president of the United States, Joe Biden, was sworn in. These are live pictures that you're looking at right now. I am being told that we are working right now on a live interview with Arkansas House Minority Leader Fred Love. Our newsroom is working on that. That is happening in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead. We're going to stick with our live coverage right now as we start to talk a little bit about the reaction that's starting to come in and the messages of support. There really hasn't been a lot of messages, at least on a local level, that would bring up some kind of controversy. This has certainly been a day of celebration. One might use that word, respect, as we observe that transition of power. If you're just joining us here, I want to let you know that we are right now working on a live interview with Arkansas House Minority Leader Fred Love. That's going to be happening here at any moment as we continue to monitor these live pictures. Let's just listen in here in our nation's capital as more of these ceremonies get underway.
That she recommended. The painting is landscape with rainbow. Rainbow, always a good sign. It's loaned to us for today from the Smithsonian American Art Museum. The artist, Dr. Robert Sheldon Duncanson, he was the best-known African-American painter in the years surrounding the Civil War. He was based in Cincinnati, encouraged by abolitionists who, among other things, sponsored a trip for him to do some study in Europe. This is a painting that he painted in 1859, and I think maybe it's sort of the classic America as a paradise painting that a lot of painters were doing then. But for him, a black artist painting this painting that's so much like an American utopia on the verge of a war that we would fight over slavery, makes all of that, I think, even more interesting in that while he faced lots of challenges, obviously was optimistic even in 1859 about America. And so Dr. Biden, thanks for helping select this painting, and glad to have all four of you here as we move on to my good friend Senator Klobuchar.
I like the rainbow.
The ceremonies still underway in Washington, D.C. Of course, they're going to continue throughout the night, probably well into the early morning hours, as we are expecting a virtual parade later today. We're also expecting the president to sign several executive orders later today, and we are expecting a news conference from the White House at approximately 6 p.m. Arkansas time, so that's 6 p.m. Central time. We are expecting the first news conference of this administration to take place. Of course, these are all events that we are going to carry live for you right here on all of our social media accounts as this day gets really in full swing. It was about an hour ago. Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th president of the United States, and Kamala Harris was sworn in as the vice president of the United States as well. Of course, the first woman vice president to hold that position. Let's just recap for folks who are just joining us at this very moment what's happening. We are standing by. We are expecting a live interview in just a moment with Arkansas House Minority Leader Fred Love. That interview expecting to get underway here in just the matter of minutes here. But I want to go through, recap for you what we are seeing as reaction starts to come in from leaders across Arkansas. And I want to begin with Governor Asa Hutchinson, which I point out that it is my understanding that Governor Asa Hutchinson is in fact in Washington, D.C. He was observing the inauguration today. The governor tweeting this right here, wishing the best of luck for President Joe Biden as he takes on the role of president. He quoted George H.W. Bush. So I'm going to quote here. As President George H.W. Bush wrote to President Clinton after the 1992 election, "Your success now is our country's success." And that came in just a little while ago from Governor Asa Hutchinson as he tweeted his congratulations to Joe Biden, the now 46th president of the United States. And I want to get to a tweet from Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. The Attorney General saying, "Today we witnessed a hallmark of American democracy, the peaceful transition of power as President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have been sworn into office. I pray that God will grant this new administration the wisdom to lead the greatest nation the world has ever seen." So certainly a lot of reaction coming in across Arkansas as we witness history today. This certainly came at a very controversial time in our nation's history as we saw the battle over the election in general. 2 weeks ago, we saw that deadly riot unfold in our nation's capital. So this day is certainly one where you now have that peaceful transition of power. And I want to, we've been talking for a minute now about Arkansas House Minority Leader Fred Love. It is my understanding that we have him. Mr. Love, certainly good to see you, sir. Tell me a little bit about your reaction to Joe Biden being sworn in as the 46th president of the United States.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Let me give one slight correction. I am not the current minority leader. I am the immediate past minority leader for the House of Representatives. Tippy McCullough is the minority leader currently for the 93rd General Assembly.
I appreciate the correction, sir. I apologize. Tell us what you think. I mean, as we start to see, this has certainly been a day that everybody's been watching for.
Well, I'm definitely excited, and I think that America is excited. We've witnessed, number one, Joe Biden really graciously giving us the words that we need to move this nation forward. And then we witnessed the first ever female being elected to the office of vice presidency. So not only is this a day of just transition, but it's a day of hope. We had a great inaugural speech, a great inauguration, and I think that this is going to move the nation forward. And I think that's what people are looking forward to. We're battling a deadly virus. The economy is not as great as we'd like. We have Arkansans here that are in desperate need of help, and I think that the Biden administration has outlined the lifeline that we need to actually move our economy forward and move our nation forward.
Well, I certainly think that there is just so much history unfolding in our nation's capital today. If you were inside the Biden administration, what would be some of your words of wisdom as we've seen this overall theme of, America United? What would be your message to the president as he starts down that road?
Well, I think Joe Biden knows what it is to, number one, be at a critical point. When he was vice president for then President Barack Obama, they were facing economic catastrophe. And so I think that President Biden is a person that we need at this point in time. He's no stranger to this point in time, but he's also no stranger to adversity, being that, with his son, Bo, with his wife. And I think that he is the person that we need. So all I would say is, Joe Biden, be Joe Biden, because he is that person. He's that empathetic leader that we need at this point in time to really see us and guide us through. He has that steady hand. He is familiar with Washington, familiar with getting things done. And I think at this point in time, God sends us the leaders that we need, and Joe Biden is the leader that we need.
Why do you say that, sir? What is it, would you say, what is it about Joe Biden that makes him the person to reunite the country?
Well, I think when you are faced with such adversity as he has in his lifetime, and he's seen a lot of different things. He's gone through a lot of different tragedies. I think that God gives you what you need in those situations. And at that point in time, I think that Joe Biden can draw from those tragedies that he's been through to actually guide this nation. You heard him talk about unifying the nation. You heard him talk about even the people that did not vote for him. All he's asking for is an opportunity and a chance. And I think, those are the types of leaders that we need at this time, to say, hey, just give me a chance. Let me guide this nation. And I think he will. I think he's putting together a great team to lead the nation. I think he's just the person that we need at this point in time.
So we're seeing, and sir, I think you can see the live pictures that we're seeing right now in Washington, D.C., the president, the vice president in our nation's capital, going through some of the ceremonial events of this inauguration. Let's talk, if you don't mind, a little bit about Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yes.
This is a new day for not just Democrats, not just for Republicans. I think this is just a new day in general in American politics.
It is. I mean, her being the first woman, everybody says, they preface it with the first woman of color, and that's important as well. But it is important for because some people emphasize it's important for young women to see this, and it is. But it is important for young men to see this as well, to say there is a change, and the change is going to be great for the nation, and it also provides that seed of hope that this nation needs. Right now, we're in a time in which we're battling a pandemic. The economy is not the way we want it to be. And so sometimes you need that seed of hope to say, hey, you know what? This is a new day. Change is coming. Change has come to the Capitol. And so right now, I'm just overwhelmed with the sense of hope, the sense of being able to unify this nation, and being a sense of actually, moving the nation forward to a place where we haven't been, but as Martin Luther King would say, a promised land.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean to bring up, old news, I guess. We saw a very heated race between Congressman French Hill and State Senator Joyce Elliott just a few months ago.
Yes.
A lot of people were calling it one of the most heated races in America because it was just so close. It was a toss-up at that point. Do you think that with Kamala Harris as vice president, this is going to turn voters at all in that district specifically with French Hill and Joyce Elliott? Do you think that will flip the district? Could we see a woman could we see a woman of color in this district representing Pulaski County, Faulkner, Conway County, Perry, I think? Do you think that could flip over the next several years with Kamala Harris as vice president?
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Sometimes you have people that come before you that set the path, and I think Joyce Elliott is a trailblazer, and I think that she has laid the foundation and the groundwork for another young woman. It doesn't have to be a young woman of color. It could be just another woman to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take up this mantle, and I'm going to be the congresswoman for the 2nd Congressional District. So definitely, I see Kamala Harris nationally giving that spark, but I see people like Joyce Elliott, Senator Linda Chesterfield, women that blaze trails every day that lay the groundwork for those behind them. So yes, I could definitely see that.
Well, we are joined by Fred Love, representative. We certainly appreciate your time today. I know that this was certainly a day that I'm sure you've been waiting for, of course, a Democrat. So this is certainly one that you probably did not have to put a calendar event in your phone on.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Sir, where did you watch it? What were you thinking when you saw history go down?
Well, you know what? I'm at home right now, under quarantine.
Oh,
so
no. Okay.
So I had to watch it from home. But I mean, even if I was in DC, I would be excited. I mean, this is a great day for the nation. I think it's a great day for young people just to witness history. And I think, moving forward, that Joe Biden is going to be the leader that we need to actually lead this nation forward. So I'm just ecstatic that we had the inauguration today, and I look forward to working with Joe Biden and President Biden and VP Harris however I can.
Madam Vice President, right? So.
Yes.
All right. Well, I wanted Representative Fred Love, a former Arkansas House Minority Leader. We certainly appreciate your time today. Stay healthy, my friend. I know that you said you're in quarantine, so I hope everything's good.
Everything is well, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. And you are looking right now at live pictures from our nation's capital, where we're seeing this day in history continue in our nation's capital. Of course, we're going to continue to follow every single event unfolding today. As soon as, and I just want to remind folks, if you're just joining us here, we are we have put invites out to Congressman French Hill as well. We have not heard back just yet, but as soon as we do, we will also carry that event, that live interview, here on all of our social media devices. I invite you to download the KRK4 and the Fox 16 smartphone apps. As soon as those interviews are happening, what we'll do is we'll send a push alert right to your cell phone, so you will not miss that interview as soon as we establish a connection with Congressman French Hill. And I just want to go through, quickly refresh my email, make sure that okay, so it looks like we will have him possibly later on in the afternoon. So as soon as we're able to establish that connection, we certainly will download the KRK, the Fox 16 smartphone apps, and we will carry that for you as the day unfolds. Thank you for joining us at this very hour. If you missed any part of our stream, feel free to join us. Just hit the refresh button on the website, krk.com, fox16.com. You can see all of this reaction start to come in live. For now, I'm Mitch McCoy. This has been a breaking news alert from KRK4 and Fox 16. Have a good rest of your afternoon.